Picture this. You head out to your coop, and bam, your chicks are practically giants compared to just last week.
Yeah.
That's the kind of poultry power-up we're diving into today.
That's right, probiotics. And the best part,
Okay.
we're talking about a completely natural solution that works with your chick's biology. We're going deep into how these beneficial bacteria can really supercharge growth in just 7 days.
7 days. When I first heard about this, I was a bit skeptical, I have to say.
Right.
But honestly, the science behind it is pretty mind-blowing.
It is.
We're essentially talking about building this whole thriving ecosystem, but like right in the chick's gut, right?
It's true. We often take our own gut health for granted, but it's important for everything: immunity, nutrient absorption.
Yeah.
And, well, the same goes for our feathered friends, right?
Right.
A healthy gut means a healthy, thriving chick.
Okay, so let's break this down a little bit for our listeners. We're talking about probiotics. Probiotics are basically these beneficial bacteria.
Yeah.
And they're already hanging out in the chick's digestive systems, right?
Exactly. And these probiotics, they're not just passive. They're actively creating this environment where the good bacteria can flourish.
Uh-huh.
And they keep the bad bacteria in check. It's like they're setting up a fortress in the gut.
So it's like this microscopic battle for territory.
Yes.
And the probiotics are the good guys that, of course, we want to win.
Precisely. And they've got, they've got some impressive tactics. Not only do they crowd out the harmful bacteria just by sheer numbers,
Right.
but some probiotics can actually produce substances that really inhibit the growth of the bad guys.
Wow.
It makes it even harder for them to take hold.
It's a double whammy.
Right.
No wonder a balanced gut flora is like giving those chicks a head start in life.
It is.
But let's talk about those first 7 days, that initial period. What is happening in there that makes this such a critical period?
So think of it like this: those first few days after hatching are like, laying the foundation for a skyscraper. You want to make sure it's strong and stable.
Okay, so day 1, those chicks hatch. What's the first step? What do we do?
Day 1 is all about establishing that healthy gut flora right away. We want to introduce those good bacteria as soon as possible. And there are a couple of ways to do this. We can mix probiotics into their water or add it to their feed.
And how much are we talking dosage-wise? Because I was really surprised to learn how little you actually need to make a real difference.
It's true. Tiny, tiny amounts. We're talking just 1 gram of the probiotic powder per liter of water, or even half a gram mixed into the feed for 50 chicks.
Wow.
It's really about consistency.
Consistency is key. Now, what kind of changes are we going to see in those first few days?
So research has shown that by days 3 and 4, you start to see a really noticeable improvement in digestion. It's like those chicks are suddenly able to unlock way more nutrients from their food.
Ow.
Yeah, they're getting more bang for their buck, so to speak.
Like upgrading from regular gas to that premium fuel?
Exactly. And then, as we head into days 5 through 7, that's when those visible results really start to shine. We're talking a noticeable difference in growth rates, especially compared to chicks that haven't received the probiotics. There was one study, actually, where chicks given probiotics saw a big boost in their weight gain in just that first week.
Wow, that's really impressive. So by the end of that first week, you're not just hoping for results, you're actually seeing them.
You are.
And honestly, that's got to be incredibly motivating for any poultry owner. But let's talk specifics. What does this actually look like in practice? Okay, so we're giving our chicks probiotics every day, but how do we actually know it's working? What should we be looking for?
Well, the most straightforward way is to track their weight.
Yeah.
You can weigh them daily.
Okay.
And then you can compare their growth to those standard breed charts that you can find online.
Oh, like a growth chart, but for baby chicks.
Exactly.
That makes sense. But what about the things that are a little harder to measure? How do we know our chicks are thriving beyond just, how much they weigh?
You want to see chicks that are, bursting with energy, right?
Right.
Not huddled in a corner looking sad.
Right.
Bright eyes, nice shiny feathers,
Okay.
a healthy appetite. All of those are really good signs that things are working well in the gut.
So it's about looking at the whole picture, not just the weight on the scale.
Absolutely.
And it all goes back to what you said before. A healthy gut helps the chick thrive overall.
And here's where things get really interesting.
Okay.
We talked about how probiotics can make it hard for the bad bacteria to survive in the gut.
Right.
Well, in a way, they kind of act like a natural form of antibiotics.
Now that's really interesting. How does that work?
So when we support that healthy community of good bacteria, we reduce the need for actual antibiotics.
Okay.
And that can be a really big deal in the long run.
Yeah, especially with all the talk about antibiotic resistance, I know that's becoming a big problem in agriculture.
It is a big problem because if you use too many antibiotics, it can lead to these superbugs,
Right.
basically, that are resistant and much harder to treat. But if we can use probiotics to help boost the chick's natural defenses,
Right.
it could really cut down on the need for antibiotics in the first place.
So it's like a more preventative approach,
Exactly.
setting those chicks up for success from day one.
Right.
And I imagine it's probably better for the whole system in the long run.
Yeah. Potentially even making our food system healthier overall.
Now, I'm sure some people listening are wondering about the cost. Are probiotics going to break the bank?
That's a fair question.
Yeah.
But honestly, a little goes a long way.
Yeah.
Remember those tiny doses we talked about?
Yeah.
And when you think about it, you might save money in the long run because the chicks are using their food more efficiently, they're less likely to get sick,
Right.
and fewer of them will die.
So it's like they say, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
Exactly. And when you use probiotics, you're investing in the long-term health of your flock, and that can mean more profit for you down the road.
So to recap, we've got these little helpers, probiotics, that can
Yes.
really make a difference in your chick's growth, especially in that first week.
It's an important time.
We're talking faster growth, stronger immune
Yeah.
systems, and just a healthier flock all around.
And we're doing it all naturally in a way that's good for the planet and in a way that can actually save you money.
Which brings us to our final thoughts on probiotics.
Mhm.
We've covered a lot of ground here, but this is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to this whole world of gut health. We've talked about all these amazing benefits of probiotics,
Mm.
but really we're just scratching the surface when it comes to this whole world of gut health. It seems like there's so much more to learn.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we're really just starting to understand how complex this relationship is,
Mm.
between the gut microbiome and like an animal's overall health. It's pretty amazing, actually.
It really is. It's like we're unlocking this like secret code almost.
Yeah, exactly.
And just like every flock is different, every chick's gut microbiome is unique too, right?
Right.
So something that works really well for one group of chicks might not work as well for another.
That's a really important point.
Yeah.
Because, things like their breed, their environment, what they're exposed to, it all affects how well different probiotics will work.
So it's not just a one-size-fits-all approach.
Right, exactly.
It's about finding what works best for your flock.
Exactly. And that's what I think is so exciting about this field. Like, imagine a future where we can test each flock's microbiome
Oh,
and then
wow.
come up with a special probiotic blend just for them.
Wow, personalized probiotics. That's next level.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's already being done in human medicine, so,
Yeah.
it's just a matter of time.
It's like that whole trend of personalized medicine,
Exactly.
but for our feathered friends.
Exactly. It's really about understanding and working with nature
Right.
to help our flocks be as healthy and productive as possible.
Well, on that note, the power of nature and all these incredible things happening in the gut, we're going to wrap up this deep dive. But for everyone listening, keep learning. There's so much more to discover about probiotics and this whole world of gut health. Until next time, happy chickening.